Hey guys, I've been getting messages and comments about long-lasting fragrances, and I decided to put a video together. It's been a while since I've done this theme, so I've got 20 fragrances for you that I consider luxury fragrances and also very long-lasting, with one bonus layering duo of 2 fragrances. So let's get started with the list. I'm talking about 54 first. My very favorite collaboration fragrance from the house of JUSBOX. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one yet, please do. There is a promotion happening right now at So Avant-Garde, and I have linked it in the info box. It's 30% off currently. So it's a great deal. They do those promotions at that store every quarter. So 54 is a fragrance I created with the JUSBOX, and of course the perfumer is Julien Rascanet. He's the perfumer, I'm not the perfumer, I was a creative director. But it turned out to be a really awesome fragrance focusing on patchouli. There's also Pina Colada here, vanilla, tobacco, cinnamon, rum, sandalwood, cardamom, Davana. Did I say tobacco? Yeah, there's tobacco here, but it's not the smoky tobacco, it's the leafy tobacco. But the great thing about this is boozy, it's vanillic, it's spicy, it's warm. Of course, it's earthy, and then it dries down to be a bit like chocolate milk on skin. So it's really super delicious. I wouldn't call this an uber gourmand fragrance, but it's a nice balance of the earthy woods, the tobacco, the sandalwood, which is all creamy, and then of course the boozy notes and the vanillic notes. And again, really creates a very milky lactonic chocolate milk effect. So that's JUSBOX 54. If you haven't tried that one, please do. It's awesome. Again, the promotion is happening right now until Monday. It's 30% off. Let's move on to this house. This is a fragrance that a friend gave me like a little bit of. They were getting rid of their bottle. I hadn't smelled this fragrance. It's from XERJOFF. It's called Louis XV 1722. Oh my God, it's so good. And also super, super potent and long lasting. And it smells super awesome. So for me, it doesn't make sense with the notes breakdown because I get like a fougere vibe from it. They mentioned that there's champagne or some kind of a liqueur note according to the XERJOFF website. But whatever the notes combo is, doesn't make sense to me, but it smells super awesome. But they claim that there's sandalwood, hazelnuts, a champagne liqueur, grapefruit, there's lavender, white musk, cashmere wood, aromatic notes, and leather. But very modern take on a fougere style, barbershop style fragrance. And even though they mentioned that champagne, I don't get much fizziness from this. It's blended in a way it's not standing out. Just acts like a really quality, super luxury, long-lasting fougere fragrance. So that's Louis XV 1722 from the house of XERJOFF. I'm gonna have to get a bottle of it myself because this is hardly any in it. It's so good. I love that fragrance. And next fragrance going to the house of SOSPIRO, which used to be part of XERJOFF, then they separated. But this fragrance I've recommended quite a bit. We've also featured it in the scent club. It's Dolce Melodia. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one, please do. It still smells great today. It's got lots of floral notes. It's got like ambery type notes in the notes breakdown, and then some fruitiness in there as well, but super awesome, very long lasting, but a very delicious creation with gardenia. There's mandarin here, vanilla, musk, sandalwood, orange, pear, black currant, you name it. It's a really, really awesome creation. Still my favorite creation from the house. Absolutely love what they did with it, and also garners compliments, and I like that about it. The compliments are great, but I don't wear fragrances for compliments. It's always nice to receive them, and this one definitely garners the compliments. Super long lasting, and the fragrances of SOSPIRO are not necessarily like extrait de parfum, they're eau de parfum, but they are so super long lasting, which is also makes for a quality wear, because sometimes you get fragrances that are eau de parfum and they don't linger. The stuff SOSPIRO fragrances linger. But moving on to the house of Thomas de Monaco, it's Raw Gold. Are you guys familiar with Raw Gold? This is the new version. I guess there's a previous version and it was reformulated. I have a video on the channel, go catch it. But still, to me, they smell very close. Just some of the animalic qualities of the original have been removed. But once again, it's a honeyed patchouli fragrance. There's vanillic ambery notes in here as well. There's a little bit of oud. It's powdery and woody, but super, super awesome. I absolutely love this fragrance. It's really awesome. And even though they're not mentioning that there's honey, the OG had honey. I think there's definitely a very honeyed effect happening here. But some of you complained when I first started speaking about this fragrance that it was too animalic for you. But maybe you've tried the new version. It's not animalic anymore. It's a really awesome, super strong, kind of earthy, patchouli, vanillic, amber, honey type of fragrance that's super delicious to wear and very long lasting. This is Raw Gold from the house of Thomas de Monaco. Let me know if you're familiar with that. So next up, going to the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. It's Vanille Supermassive, another really long, well, all the fragrances that I'm talking about here are super long lasting. There's a nice big batch of extrait de parfum concentration fragrances. Some are eau de parfum and I still consider them long lasting. This is definitely one of the long lasting fragrances and it smells super awesome as well. It's a vanilla fragrance that doesn't smell like your sugary sweet, tooth-rottingly sweet kind of a fragrance, but there's sweetness here. Nicely contrasted with musky notes and earthy woody notes and aromatics and things like that. It's vanilla, labdanum, caramel, patchouli, elemi, and ambroxan. There's also some warm, spicy cinnamon, musks, bergamot, and fir balsam. I feel like the addition of the fir balsam in this takes it to a little bit of a more masculine direction. So if you are someone that likes vanilla, but you think it maybe leans feminine, and this is a vanilla fragrance for you to try, especially also since it's also very long lasting. So that's Vanille Supermassive from the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. Then we're going to the house of DOLCE Paris. It's Tonka Hysteria. You guys familiar with this one? We've featured some of these fragrances in kits, and I've decided to pick some of the best fragrances that I really love to go into our Scent Club kits. This is it wasn't a kit, it was in number 13. And again, it was one of my favorite offerings from last year. Also super long lasting. What I like about this one, it's sweet, but it's nicely contrasted with a very spicy, peppery notes. There's resins here, lots of resin, so it becomes ambery. There's also warm spices and some citrusy touches, but super awesome. But for me, this fragrance is all about the Tonka and its qualities. So it's got these kind of nutty, bitter qualities. And what they've done to it is just super awesome. I think this is Jordi Fernandez from what I remember. He's with Givaudan, and I absolutely love this fragrance. So it's Tonka Hysteria from the house of DOLCE. We're moving on to the house of Nuit Nomade for a very dark take on vanilla. This is Estrella de la Mañana. Are you guys familiar with this one? This is a smoky, leathery vanilla. It features birch, vanilla, cocoa, and benzoin. So I feel like it's trying to be gourmand, but once again, it's not your typical sugary, sweet gourmand. And even though you'll notice the vanilla, you'll notice the cocoa, it does become ambery with the resinous notes of benzoin. That birch is throwing in a lot of smokiness, this dark kind of leathery smokiness, charred kind of experience. So it kind of crosses out those kind of more gourmand-esque notes. But you do experience them, but they're nicely blended with the smokiness, the leatheriness of the birch note that's in here, which is kind of a polarizing note. Not many people like it, but it really works here with this fragrance. If you are a fan of birch, go check out a video on the channel on birch fragrances. But Estrella de la Mañana is super awesome and very, very long lasting. That one doesn't garner me compliments, but this next one does. It's from the house of BDK. It's a Passoir Extrait. Really awesome fragrance here. I was never really into the OG version of this, but I love the extrait, super long lasting and also a compliment getter. And the combination of the notes are super awesome. I like that. There's fruitiness here, there's earthiness here, muskiness, and I think this is the reason why the combination of the way the fragrance is blended, you know, nice projection off of you, also very long lasting, and so you get the compliments. But it's got quince, chutney, cocoa, tangerine, cashmeran, jasmine, pear, patchouli, pepper, ginger, orange blossom, vanilla, and benzoin. Are you a fan of this one? This is my favorite fragrance from the house of BDK. I'm waiting to get my nose on the new Nectar Oud. It's from, well, actually, it's created by Anne Flippo. It's a exclusive for Harrods. Until I can get my nose on it, I will, let you guys know once I do. But let me know if you're a fan of Passoir Extrait. All right, up next, going to the house of Guerlain. This is Tobacco Honey. Are you a fan of this one? Yeah, I can't believe how great and how long-lasting this fragrance is. It's super beefy, and I like its intensity to last a long time. Also, the notes breakdown is awesome. It's tobacco with honey, so it's that kind of a sticky, syrupy sweetness against the smokiness of the tobacco. But it doesn't stop there. We've got oud here, vanilla, tonka, sesame, sandalwood, anise, and cloves, in addition to the tobacco and the honey. But they did a great job with the creation of this one. I like its intensity, as I said, and I like the way the honey smells so realistic. And I like the contrast of the honey with the tobacco. It's kind of like tobacco vanille, but it's not vanilla, it's honey this time. Really long-lasting tobacco honey from the House of Guerlain. Let me know if you're a fan of that. Next, going to the House of Maison Crivelli. It's my favorite in the line now. Well, it's not my favorite yet. It's my number 2 favorite, but still very close to Saffron Secret, but this is Tuberose Astral. Long-lasting, super intense, and compliment getter fragrance. And once again, it's a Quinton Biche creation, but it's turned out to be my favorite Quinton Biche creation for Maison Crivelli, next to the Patchouli Magnetic, which is even more super potent. But this is cinnamon bark, tuberose, osmanthus, carrot seeds, cistus, musks, and vanilla, which is, Quinton Biche also created the Aldebaran for Marc-Antoine Myrrh, which I don't really, it's polarizing. It's not like something that really attracts me, calls me to wear, but this is awesome. The way it smells, and I'm not the biggest tuberose fan. I find it to be very modern tuberose. There are those kind of lactonic creamy qualities, but it's super powdery, warm, spicy, and musky, and vanillic as well. I think he did such a great job with this fragrance. I absolutely love it. So it's Tuberose Astral from the House of Maison Crivelli. We're going to the House of Boadicea the Victorious next. It's Harmonious for a super sexy kind of a take on the Dior Homme Parfum DNA that I really, really love. So if you are looking for the OG Dior Homme Parfum and you can't find it and you don't like the new one, which a lot of people don't and some people do, I'm not one of the fans of that one, you can go with Harmonious because it's so awesome. When I first discovered this while in Selfridges in London, I was like, whoa, that smells so good. It smells like Dior Homme Parfum. I got a bottle, came back, I ordered another bottle from Selfridges. I do have a backup of it, but it's because I love the DNA of Dior Homme Parfum. And this stuff is also super long-lasting, intense. A lot of the fragrances from Boadicea de Victorious are super potent and beefy. And what I like about it is the muskiness, the powdery irisy touches or Orris touches, and the leather when it's drying down. But you do experience that kind of a makeup leather combo with the fragrance, which is super sexy. It's Harmonious from the House of Boadicea de Victorious. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. Next, going to the House of Born to Stand Out, it's Oud Candy, created by Margot Lepage-Goran. Turned out to be my favorite of the 4 ouds that were launched, and I really like the way Margot Lepage-Goran creates fragrances, and I like the DNA of the fragrances that she creates, and you can totally notice it here. The oud is slightly animalic. It does become a bit funky on skin, but I think it's not like your super animalic kind of an oud, but it's also quite musky and a bit sweet, so it's a nice contrast. Very, very long lasting. This stuff is so potent. You only need a few sprays if you like that, but I'm starting to kind of slowly get back into enjoying ouds. There's a few oud fragrances here, and this is definitely one of the ones that's kind of getting me back on track with ouds. If you haven't tried this one, do try it. But there's oud here, leather, saffron, there's brown sugar, candy, oak moss, and caramel, and milk, and nutty notes, and white flowers, ambroxan, and vanilla. So if you are a fan of Margot Lepage-Goran's fragrances, or her fragrances she's created, or any of the fragrances over at Flair, you can probably really enjoy this, especially if you like oud fragrances. So this is Oud Candy from the House of Boadicea de Victorious. Super, super long lasting. All right, we're talking about a vanilla fragrance next, nicely meshed with white floral creaminess. This is from the House of Paris Monte Carlo. It's Vanille de Tahiti. Oh man, so super intoxicating. It's almost like you've drizzled this kind of a syrupy, sticky, sweet vanilla all over magnolias and champaca flowers. And it's a nice fusion of the creaminess and the tropical floralcy of the flowers with that syrupy kind of stickiness of vanilla together. Oh man, it's such a great intoxicating combo. So a lot of folks have also mentioned this one's got some funk, like indolic funk. Thankfully for me, it's a bit hidden. I do understand what you guys are talking about, but once you get past that, this is so good. So good. So super delicious. I love the smell of magnolias to begin with. I really love them, especially when it's hot out. There are some really huge magnolia trees in California, and sometimes when I'm under it and it's really hot out, I can smell those flowers baking. So just basically, the smell is this kind of creamy white flower with a kind of a lemony undertone, and it's nicely captured here with all the kind of vanillic touches. Super awesome fragrance. Vanille de Tahiti from the House of Paris Monte Carlo. Awesome stuff. Super long lasting. And then we're going to the House of Marc-Antoine Barrois. It's B683 Extrait. This does get animalic, super animalic, so be warned with this one. It's taking the original, intensifying it, and also adding this kind of a very animalic oud here. But if I can tolerate the animalics here because it's got that green apple note, so it adds this kind of a juicy fruitiness against the more kind of intense notes. But there's also violet leaves here, which throws in that fresh, crisp, ozonic touch. But there's a lot of, saffroline here, which is kind of saffrony. There's oud, there's the sandalwood, there's patchouli, there's pink pepper, cumin, vanilla. Really awesome extract to take on B683 and super long lasting, I should say. But also a bit Middle Eastern with the fact that they've thrown in the oud in here, and it's got a lot of saffrony kind of touches. So that's B683 from the house of, that's a B683 extract from the house of Marc-Antoine Barrois. Then we're going to the house of Tiziana Terenzi. It's Hail Bop. So Hail Bop is a super intense, really long-lasting, but super projection and sillage. Take on something very, very ambery that is distantly related to something like Le Lion from the house of you-know-who. I won't mention the name. you know what I'm talking about. But if you like that fragrance, this is definitely not as animalic as that other one. And I think usually, I don't understand why they did it this way, but it's a bit more comforting because it doesn't have the animalics that Le Lion does. But it's a lot of amber here, a lot of labdanum, vanilla, geranium, cinnamon. So it's warm, spicy, but super thick and dense. So it makes the fragrance super loud. It is extrait de parfum, but also very, very long lasting. If you like ambers, definitely check this one out. It's one of the most intense from the house, but definitely very enjoyable from the house of Tiziana Terenzi. So it's Hail Bop. Check that out if you don't know it. Next, going to the house of Amouage, it's Guidance 46. And Guidance 46, I do enjoy it more because I think the original is that very popular DNA that Canton Biche has created, but here they've taken it into a very ambery direction, but keeping the kind of the skeleton of the original so you can pick it up, but it does get more weighty, more dense, more intense with the notes. But it's got the typical notes that Canton Biche is known for: akigala wood, there's ambrette, rose water, pear, sandalwood, frankincense, bitter almonds, hazelnuts, osmanthus, saffron. It's very, very creamy. This fragrance, the OG and the extract is very creamy, but this is kind of like the creaminess has turned into more like a creamy amber and resinous experience, and you'll really notice it. So if you're a fan of the OG and you ever tried this one, try it. I prefer this one a little bit. It's a little less feminine, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I kind of like this one more because it's, of course, going into the more ambery, kind of smoky, ambery, and a little bit more intense direction. So that's Guidance 46 from the house of Amouage. Let me know if you're familiar with that. And then next, we're going to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian and going to the OG Oud in the extrait de parfum concentration, and that is this right here. Now, I started enjoying this fragrance. I was not a big fan of the OG Oud. I was always more into the satin mood, or most importantly, the silk. And then I always have been a fan of the cashmere. But this one's kind of grown on me. It's basically a straightforward oud, but super potent, intense, with a lot of leathery touches, vanillic touches. There's woods here, there's elemi, patchouli, and of course the oud. And the oud that MFK makes is a very unique oud that, I don't know if he utilizes the naturalistic oud or if it's something that's an accord to create an oud accord, but there's something very connected about all the ouds in the MFK fragrances, especially like the silk mood and the satin mood. But here, it's basically playing an important role with all the other notes kind of, supporting it, kind of contributing their characteristics to that oud, but you still really notice the oud, and it comes off very wearable, not animalic at all, but also super, super potent. If you like something that's more highlighting the oud, try oud in the extrait de parfum from MFK, but if you're more into the rose, go with the silk mood, and if you're more into that kind of violet rose thing, go with the satin. But oud extrait de parfum is really, really awesome from the house of MFK. Let me know if you're a fan of that. Then we're going to the house of Frederic Malle. This is the Moon. Now, this one doesn't come off as super beefy like a lot of other fragrances, but to me, it's got great lingering power, and the way the fragrance has been created is so awesome. Julien Rasquinet did a really awesome job with this one in launching in 2019. It's definitely become a favorite of mine in the Desert Gems collection, which are the Middle Eastern fragrances, or the oudi fragrances, and definitely a top-notch offering with raspberry, lychee, saffron, olibanum, which is frankincense. And there's also rose here. Oh man, such a great release. I love wearing it. It smells so good, so good. And you got everything perfectly created. Nice balance of all the different notes. And a masterpiece, I would call this. Definitely one of the best from the house, The Moon. I'm on my second bottle, by the way. That is from the house of Frederic Malle. And we're going to go to the house of Tom Ford next. I do have one Tom Ford and still going back to a classic. It's Tobacco Vanille. My bottle is still super strong and intense and long-lasting. I absolutely love the way it smells. It's kind of a similar idea to Tobacco Honey, but in this case, we've got tobacco and vanilla. And tobacco and vanilla gives me the holiday vibe. There are some warm spices in there like cloves and cinnamon. There's also a bit of dried fruits in there, but of course we've got that kind of smoky and ashy take on tobacco with that kind of dry and a bit syrupy vanilla. Super awesome. Really original fragrance. Waiting for that parfum of this. They need to do a flanker of this. They've left it alone. I think it deserves it. Give us a much more potent and maybe take it into a bit more syrupy direction, because I find the OG to be kind of dry. But Tobacco Vanille, very long lasting. Let me know if you're familiar with it. And I'm going to end the list here with something kind of tobacco vanilla-ish, but no tobacco is mentioned. It's Blender Graffy's Vanilla Mudslide. Have you guys checked this one out yet? It's in our previous Scent Club kit, and we still have a few more of those kits left. If you haven't discovered this fragrance, you're going to want to discover it. It's so awesome. So it's got sweet and bitter almonds. There's a buttery note. There's coconut milk, cocoa, coffee, ISOE Super, vodka, ambroxan, white musks, vanilla, for a super amazing fragrance. If you haven't tried this, please do. I do get the tobacco vanilla kind of combo. It doesn't smell like tobacco vanille. But man, the projection on here, the longevity, compliments galore as well. One of the best fragrances from last year. Absolutely love it. It's an X-rated parfum concentration. Again, as I said, it's super, super long lasting, but one of the best fragrances. So I'm ending the list here today with Vanilla Mudslide. It's so good, guys. One of my favorite fragrances, and I can't get enough of the way that smells. It's one of the best, as I said. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. 20 luxury fragrances that are super long lasting. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Have you discovered them yet? Please let me know. Add a comment below. Other than that, guys, appreciate you tuning in today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do click the subscribe button and also the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. And then also, if you haven't liked the video yet, please do a thumbs up for this video so that it'll help with the algorithm. Anyway, we'll stay tuned for another video in the near future. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, guys, I'm going to go with a couple of fragrances I haven't talked about for a while as a bonus option here. And I just recently pulled it out and tried this layering combo again, and I can't believe how great it is. I'm talking about two Louis Vuitton fragrances. It's Ombre Nomade and also Le Sable Roses. And the combination is nuclear, and you smell super awesome. Have you tried this layering combo? Let me know. Add a comment below. But Ombre Nomade is a great oud fragrance, but there's hardly any, if at all, rose in it. It has some fruitiness. It's got like ambery touches and resins and smokiness, but missing the rose. If you like the rose oud combo and you have a bottle of Le Sable Roses as well, because Le Sable Roses is more about the roses. There's a few varieties of roses in it. It also has this kind of a very watery, dewy, aquatic, and a little marine leaning quality to it with the oud. Not a lot of oud in this. So the combination of the two together, so awesome. It kind of balances out each other. They complement one another. So you're adding rose to the mostly oud and kind of fruity combo. And then you've got a lot of rose here with a little oud, and together they smell wonderful. If you haven't tried this layering combo, please do. It's a great combo and you'll smell really awesome. And again, also both of the fragrances are super long lasting, and the combo together even makes it even more potent and more long lasting. Amazing layering duo. It's Ombre Nomade and Le Sable Roses. Let me know if you've tried those fragrance layering combinations. Add a comment below.